So many screens. It's beautiful. Okay, hello. I wanted to make this video because I've been asked before, should you animate to music? In the Animator's Survival Kit, which many regard as like the Bible for animation, he advises that you don't listen to music. He kind of made a very general statement to not animate to any music. I can't help but disagree with that. I've animated to music for most of the time when I've animated, and I've also experimented with not animating to music. This is Radu Kastian. He's an animator. He does 2D and 3D, and he's very good. And he is my housemate. So we're going to be working together tonight, like in the same room. We're in for a treat. He's going to show us what he's been working on.
Hi everyone, I'm Radu. So basically, my story is about a few scientists who go down a cave, and there's an alien spaceship right there. Only one of them gets out, but you don't know if it's the alien or if it's the scientist itself. Concept art wise, I started with something really basic, basically some kind of like almost like studies of like Russian military uniforms and stuff like that. Then I kind of started to stylize it, kind of add like my own artistic input into it. The first iteration of the concept art. Now for the second iteration, I played a bit with the shapes, but I decided to stick with realistic. This doesn't work well with horror, not with like. It doesn't work with creating like tension and stuff like that, so I just kind of scrapped it and went with something more realistic. This though is kind of my own mashup of like different armors and I don't know, scuba diving equipment almost.
I'm going to discuss the possible negative side effects. I'm not denying that music might decrease your brain functioning in some way. If you look at the brain as a binary computer, which by the way, it isn't, then a computer has a set amount of processing power it can dish out to various tasks it has to perform. If you give it too many tasks to perform simultaneously, the overall performance is decreased. So that's kind of the way of thinking when it comes to multitasking, and it's not entirely wrong, but it's also not entirely right. And I think a lot of it depends on whether you're left-sided or right-sided with your brain functioning. So do you go on intuition or calculation? It's true, certain music does pull you in and demand that you participate mentally, and so this can be a problem. Someone like Eminem might not be the best music to go with because it will cross over into multitasking. His lyrics are front and center, and he writes and delivers in an engaging way which demands your concentration. So that's not ideal for if you're trying to concentrate on animation. Here's the point I want to make about this. Let's say you're dancing to music. Are you having to concentrate on the music and the dance moves as separate things and do it in a multitasking way? No, you are dancing to the music. You are not dancing with music on at the same time. They are one and the same. Music has character to it. It sets a mood and a rhythm, and this can be very helpful. If you think about Kung Fu masters in the past, they would take on the personality of different animals and work these disciplines into their Kung Fu methodology and philosophy. So if they were a praying mantis and they were doing mantis Kung Fu, they would be fast and still. A monkey would be very agile, and a tiger would be fierce. And they combined them into the same thing. Another thing I have to address, Richard Williams claims that if you stop listening to music, the quality of your animation will double. I'm sorry, but that is just complete nonsense to me. I've tested it and nope, it hasn't doubled, and it hasn't even increased. It's just stayed the same, and a lot of my friends report similar results. Especially when I animate, it's an emotional experience. It's going off of a feeling, a vibe, and often I make decisions not quite knowing why I made them, but just feeling like it's right. And this type of thinking is powerful and mysterious. So that's just the point I wanted to make with this.
And here you go. This is one of the finished concept pieces painted in Photoshop. That's one, and this is the second one. These are basically thumbnails from my animation, from the storyboard. As for the helmet and stuff like that, this is kind of like a more detailed concept piece for the helmet and, you know, mask. Okay, I kind of exaggerated and went with something more stylized here. I think this would work well for my art book cover. And this as well. I was just experimenting, you know, playing around. I found a really cool, like, pendulum brush, so I just wanted to.
I like that one.
To try it. Yeah, more stuff here. Whoa.
You dropped the pen.
It's not mine. Second version, and for the third version, I haven't actually made much. Right now I'm trying to strip back the quality and make it a bit more stylized. So these are more like stylized drawings of the same characters and settings. Like, I'm probably going to go with something like this, more graphical, you know, kind of gritty almost. And this is something more like concise. So very silhouetted, not. As story goes, I think you should just show them the animatic, you know, you could put it there.
Okay, yeah,
you can
I'll
send a
put it
link
in,
or something.
Yeah.
That's the first version though, so keep that in mind. It's not at its greatest.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, definitely.
Radu Kastian, I'll link to his art station in the description. If you're Bungie or Activision or EA Games
Or Ubisoft.
or Ubisoft, if any of you are
Or
watching,
any gaming company actually, I don't really mind. It's
give
just
this
like,
man a job.
yeah, just give me, I need food. I've got something wrong with my mouth, don't I?
No, it's just your expression.
I need food, guys, I'm hungry.
Why music actually helps you animate. First thing is that music puts you in the zone. So you'll notice when you play music, especially if it's a certain type of music, it can help you to just get your mind in that zone that you need to be in. It gives you energy. If you listen to certain music, it can actually change your mind to make you feel more energized. And it is mind over matter. You know, the brain has a crazy effect on the body and vice versa. The body also has an effect on the brain. The two work together. And I think that music can influence your brain to give you an energy boost, and that energy can then come across in your drawings, in your animation. It can help you go longer, make animation for longer periods of time. So that's another reason. Music can help you to shut off distractions. Literally, if you have your headphones on, you can not hear things that are going on around you. And often if you're working in, if you're working in an office, if you're working in your university, your school, anywhere where it's a public place, maybe a cafe, there will be things going on around you that are going to distract you. It's just inevitable. Now, if you've got your headphones on, you can block all of that out. You actually will be oblivious to what's going on around you, and that will allow for you to make more drawings and allow for you to stay in that flow state that you need to be in. It can also control your mood. Now, if you're trying to animate a very sad scene, you can put on some really sad, moving, emotional music, and that can actually bleed through into how you animate the scene. It can help you assimilate to that mood and really help you. The other thing, last thing to wrap up is if you're an animator, if you're going to be animating professionally, you will spend an awful lot of your time animating, right? So do you want to be spending your life in this complete dead silence, or do you want to be spending a good chunk of your life in music, in a fun, motivated, happy mood? I would rather go for animating with music on. If you've noticed that you've had trouble with animating to music, then fair enough, don't animate to music. But I think for most of us, we can do it. I mean, you might have problems if you're animating lip movement, character animation, and you've got on music that's got lots of lyrics on. But what about instrumental music? Why can't you have instrumental music playing lightly in the background? So I would say go ahead, listen to music. It will actually help you in many ways.
All right, so that was my contribution to this small, arbitrary discussion. I know it doesn't really matter, but now you know what I think about it. I want to thank everyone who has so far supported me on Patreon. They're pledging an amount of their choosing for access to extra video content, source files, and updates from me. They really do get a lot more content than what's on this YouTube channel. There's not much left to reach with our next stretch goal, so if we reach it, I will finally make that Sakuga Studies episode on Yutaka Nakamura that so many people have been asking for. So please consider joining the exclusive Patreon page, and maybe we'll be able to reach that goal and finally have that video made. Thanks to the support of Patreon members, I was able to pay for professional music score on my up-and-coming animation, and it sounds really, really nice. So that's something I'm very thankful for. I also bought some new equipment recently. It just arrived today, actually, to improve the quality of the videos, because as you can see, the camera work in the video could be much better. So it really is helping me to improve the content on this channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.